Shannon, could you give us your reaction to Brad Shepherd's retirement
Yeah,
yesterday?
well, because he's been a great player for us, it's always disappointing and being play. Well, I don't say disappointing, but played with him for so long. He's been such a great player. When that happens, it's always a bit sad to see that. I mean, I was fortunate enough to see Coxie, Glassy, Matty Priddis and Lecker as well, and I think Shep's through there. Like, he's 12 years, 13 years at the club, get to spend so much time with him and really enjoy his company as everyone does. So it's unfortunately what it is in football, but it was disappointing for him, and because he could have still kept playing for a couple of years.
Has it rattled the group at all that you've lost two guys in the space of 3 or 4 months to concussion?
No, I don't think it has. No, I think I've just been a couple of unfortunate situations how it's gone. I mean, we understand what happened with Venners in 19, and Shep's just been a couple of ongoing head knocks. So I think it's spoken about more and more in the AFL now, which I think is a good thing, and they're trying to do as much as they can to protect it and make it as safe as possible with the rules that they've been doing. I think the players now as well are also more aware of it, and even when you're playing, you try to you never want to intentionally hit someone high, like maybe 30, 40 years ago, but not anymore. So players are aware of it, all the staff are as well, medical. So we understand that's what it is, and we still keep enjoying playing football, but there is always a risk when you play contact sport sometimes.
Do you think that players will want to spend more time recovering from it before going back? Obviously, Shep had the 3 in a row sort of this year, and whereas Venables was just one where you can't control that. If you have more Shepherd examples, do you think people will go, I've had a couple, I really should take some more time out and just take more precautions than they would normally do so?
Well, it's 12 days now, so it's about 2 games. I don't think so, no. I think what it is now is pretty good, because it used to be just roll you out there and keep playing. I think now what they do is about right, is pretty good. So I'm not aware of the exact time frame and what the doctors would properly recommend, but I think it's pretty good with what they're doing. You always assume the longer it is, the better recovery you'd be, but I think the 12 days, 2 weeks is probably about right, because normally those first few days you're a bit, then you start running and then you get going again and then you feel pretty normal.
When was your last? Did you? I can't remember you having.
I had one in 16, I think. I think it was 16. Yeah, 16. Yeah. And I missed a week anyway because I hurt a hamstring in that game, and then played the week after that and felt all right. Yeah. So it was basically 2 weeks.
You played alongside Brad his whole career, so
yeah.
Did you have a chat to him before he made that announcement to the group at all?
Well, it was off season and got to have a couple of chats with him. And because get on well with him, and it was a thing he was tossing up and deciding because he wanted to get some advice through numerous different people and the doctors. It was something he was throwing up, and it was always going to be his decision. And then we were made aware of it, a couple of days before. So, as I said, I think Shep's what he's done for the club's been awesome, and his career, and now him going forward, he'll probably be spending a lot of time at Rottnest, but he's he's smart, he loves business as well, and he'll do really well in that space.
The fact that Shep was suffering towards the end of last year, did that play any role in your decision to play on, or were you going again regardless?
No, it didn't. No, because all that stuff was decided before Shep would have been weighing stuff up. Yeah. Yep.
Can you talk us through that? It's your decision to go on that?
Well, it's always been as simple as if I think my body can keep going and mentally I want to keep going, I'd always want to keep playing. But then obviously the club, at the end of the day, the club has their say, and they were happy as well. So Nizzy and Craig Vozzo have been great. So it was going to work in the end. Yeah, that's why the club's been very good in what they are, because even like JK is the same thing. I mean, they've always been honest. If they don't think you'll be able to contribute anymore, they would be mentioning that. But that was never a case.
You look lean as all hell at the moment. Like, have you deliberately lost weight, or have you changed body shape deliberately?
Over the last 3 or 4 years, I've tried to lighten up a touch. Yeah, just because I think through your like early 20s to 28, I think you just can get away with being a bit heavier, running. It's just, you can not do anything, but you just can do it. When you get a bit older, you just need to be a bit smarter, I reckon, about trying to not really carry excess weight, because you need to be able to run in the game today. So my body shape has always changed anyway. So the off season, don't do a heap of weights in the pre-season, then the game starts. So those three, my body changes over that time. So I roughly stay the same weight, 2 or 3 kilos different, but the body shape changes. Yeah.
So will you try to play lighter this year because of the soft tissue injuries you had last year, just to change a little bit around?
Oh yeah, but I've tried to do that last 2 or 3 years. Yeah. I have tried to stay a little bit lighter, yes, but you still need to have your strength as well, and that's with the soft tissue stuff. Sometimes you still need your durability to be able to train, and then still be able to do your weights in the gym, so you still get your strength in there. So it's just trying to find that balance.
Is it hard for you to change? You arrived big,
I did.
Automatically,
I did.
It would be easy for you to get rid of it.
No, well, after a while, things become a habit, and it's all about your training, how you prepare. Your diet and your food intake. And I think, as I said before, when you're younger, you can eat what you want, do what you want, and it stays all right. When you get older, you just understand what works and what doesn't work for you. Pritter came to the club from Subiaco, and he was a monster, and they said you got to lose 5 kilos, and he had to really, he found a way to lose that. And I've spoken to him a little bit about it, but it's just basically how you train, a bit of your food intake. That's the main couple of things that you can control.
Food-wise, is there anything that's been tough to give up?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like I'm going on a big diet. I haven't been going on a big diet. It's more just it's more the volume of food. I think is when you're younger. I think everyone can contribute to that. When you're younger, you can eat massive volumes. When you get older, you just need to be a bit smarter how you do it. So there hasn't been any food's been given up. It's just been smarter with the volumes of meals that you have, and because you don't train as much anymore either. Like when you're mid-20s, you do everything and extras. And then when you get a bit older, you can't quite do that, so you need to be a bit smarter.
Do you know if Shep's situation played any role in like the club's decisions at the draft or in off season? Do you know, thinking about he might not be there, do we recruit for that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wouldn't have thought so. I thought I would believe they would just be picking the best players available, and obviously there's always an eye on the future, but they'd just be picking the best players available. And the kids we've got have been great. It's great that they've been able to train. They fitted in quite well. Everyone gets excited when they get to run alongside Nick Nat and JK. So they've been doing a good job.
This may be your last year. You never know what we do in 12 months' time. But you talked about not really changing the way you play. But do you envisage yourself playing every week? That's what you're aiming to be doing next year.
I'd always be planning to play. Yes. I haven't spoken to Simo or anyone about what you could do to manage throughout the years. Everyone talks about, you miss a game here, miss a game there. It would be an ongoing thing to see how the body was going, everything like that. So I haven't got to that point, but I'd still be keen to play every game, but whether that's possible or not, we'll see how that works out.
And just on actually covering Shep in that backline, how hard is that going to be?
Yeah, well, I have said he's been a unique player who can defend like exceptionally well and still go and get the ball himself. There aren't too many players that are like that, and that's why we've thoroughly enjoyed playing with him. And he's great to play because he's going to get the job done, and he helps everyone be better. So. We're some blokes that are still working with that, about learning how to defend and then coming through and then can still be involved in the ball movement. It'll be hard, but I think we've got a couple of players that will be able to fit into that. I mean, Rotham's been coming along, Nelson, Harry Edwards is there, a bit different, but those type of players, Luke Foley coming along, and that's why we always talk about players, especially in the back line when you first start, you need to got to learn how to defend, and then naturally they can always find the ball. But Shep was... Yeah, he honestly, he was a great player to play with, a very good mate, and the way he played footy is how it should be played. So he was very good.
There was a sense that he was underrated over over the eastern side of the country compared to here. How do you think he compares?
With that stuff, I don't think Shep wanted to play to be noticed or get recognition. He wanted to play because he wanted to win. So yes, there is always that outside noise about yes, he got some recognition towards the end of his career, but from probably 2014-15, he, what's that, 7 years of footy, he was very good at doing his stuff. So we knew every week he was reliable. Obviously, sometimes it takes time for outside to click into that. But Shep for us has been great.
Those four guys you mentioned before, Edwards, Robin, both tall.
Yep.
Nelson and Foley both small.
Yep.
Shep did both.
He did.
Is that the hardest part about he could be one player but do two things in one game?
He could. Yeah. Well, see, Eric McKenzie was a bit like that too, and Glassy. Like they could play on like 175 centimetres or 200 centimetres. That's why Shep was great, because he knew how to defend tall blokes, small blokes, medium blokes, quick blokes, everything. I think those players who have the attributes to be able to do that. All tall players now are pretty much good key position players. So it's a little bit harder to do that now, but you need to be able to still defend a range of players, because otherwise you can just be pigeonholed into a certain thing. Witherden's the same. Witherden can defend tall blokes as well, but Shep was so versatile in the players he could play on. That's why he's so unique.
First stinking hot day of the summer.
Yeah.
It's changed a little bit, hasn't it? It's what pre-season. They probably would have flogged you to make it more for me to 39-degree heat, wouldn't they, in the past? Like, it feels like it's a bit more balanced, a bit more measured.
No, well, Monday was a pretty solid session, and most blokes have, so first to fourth year players, been trained for the previous 2 weeks, and most blokes have been joining in with that. I think we have stepped up. We have started at a higher level. We've started at a higher level of training. So distance recovery, intensity, more contact as well. So I think that's going to be good for us.
Bung, I've got one. Just Eagles Web in 2015 with you and Shep and Gov. Was that Shep at his best in that year?
It probably was individually for him, I reckon. And even though we played as a team, he was. But like 18, 19, and 20, I thought his consistency then was very good. But 15, he was. 15 probably played a wide range of roles. 18, 19, 20, they were similar, but he did dependable. And he spoke about it yesterday. As a player, I think you want to get, they understand about that respect, but you want your teammates to enjoy playing with you. And we certainly did. We always have a laugh. He's a very funny fella, but it's serious when you start playing. And that's why he was great to play with. And you miss that, but you get to have those relationships forever.